Imagine this. You're so exhausted, you can barely see straight. You've worked 2 shifts back to back, your phone is dying, and the daycare just called for the 3rd time saying you're late to pick up your son. You see your Uber waiting, black sedan, right license plate, and you practically collapse into the back seat. Your eyes close for just 1 second. Then you hear it. I don't remember ordering a passenger. You open your eyes and realize 3 things simultaneously. First, this is not your Uber. Second, the man staring at you is devastatingly handsome in an expensive suit. And third, you just fell asleep on a complete stranger's shoulder. But here's where it gets crazy. This isn't just any stranger. This is Jinwoo Park, Korean billionaire CEO, and you just crashed his car on the worst day of his entire life. What happens next? Stick around, because this story is about to get wild. Welcome to Afro-Korean Mafia channel, and today I'm bringing you a story about wrong turns, right people, and how sometimes the biggest mistakes lead to the most beautiful destinations. If you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button. We post stories like this every single week that'll make you believe in fate again. Now, let's get into it. Destiny Matthews was 28 years old and she was drowning. She worked 2 jobs, daytime shift at Memorial Hospital as a nurse's aide and 3 nights a week at Rosie's Diner. Her son, Marcus, was 5 years old. 5 years of doing it alone since his father decided fatherhood wasn't his vibe and disappeared when Marcus was 6 months old. No child support, no phone calls, no birthday cards, just Destiny and Marcus against the world. On this particular Tuesday in October, Destiny was running on 3 hours of sleep and pure adrenaline. She'd finished her hospital shift, rushed to her diner shift, and now at 10:45 p.m., she was racing to Little Stars Daycare, which closed at 11 p.m. sharp. They charged $5 per minute after closing. $5 she absolutely did not have. Her phone buzzed with another call from Miss Patricia at the daycare. "I'm so sorry, Miss Patricia. I'm in the Uber right now. 5 minutes away, I promise." She hung up and stared at her Uber app with blurry eyes. Black sedan. License plate ending in 7Q3. There, right in front of the diner. She didn't look closely, didn't verify, didn't think. She just opened the back door and threw herself inside. "Thank God!" she breathed, sinking into leather seats that felt expensive, too expensive for an Uber. "I'm so sorry I'm running late. Can you please hurry? I need to get to Little Stars Daycare on Madison Street. My son, I don't remember ordering a passenger." The voice was deep, masculine, with a slight accent. Destiny's eyes flew open. There was a man in the back seat with her. Not in the front where drivers belonged, but right next to her. Close enough that she could smell his cologne. Something expensive that probably cost more than her rent. He was beautiful. Sharp jawline, dark eyes currently studying her with confusion and amusement. Dark hair styled perfectly. He wore a charcoal suit with the tie loosened, and there was tension in his shoulders that spoke of a very long day. "Oh my God." Destiny's voice came out strangled. "This isn't my Uber." "No," the man confirmed, his lips twitching. "It's not. I'm so sorry. I thought the license plate looked right, and I wasn't." She fumbled for the door handle. "Wait." His hand moved, not to grab her, but a gesture. "You said your son is at daycare? On Madison Street?" "Yes, but I'll just order another Uber. It's 10:47 p.m. He checked his watch. You said you needed to hurry? The daycare closes at 11, and they charge late fees I really can't afford. But that's not your problem. I'll drive you. Destiny froze. What? I'll drive you to get your son. He leaned forward and spoke in Korean to the driver. The car pulled into traffic. No, you don't have to. You were asleep on my shoulder for approximately 8 minutes, he interrupted, amusement clear now. At this point, driving you to daycare seems like the least complicated option. I was... Destiny's face flamed. I fell asleep on you? You did. Rather peacefully, actually. He settled back. You also snored, lightly. I do not... She stopped. Okay, I might. I've been awake for 19 hours. 19 hours? His expression shifted to concern. That's not sustainable. Neither is being a single mom with 2 jobs and a 5-year-old, but here we are. The bitterness surprised even her. Sorry. I don't usually trauma dump on strangers. You didn't steal it. You borrowed it briefly without permission. His tone was dry, but kind. There's a distinction. Despite everything, Destiny smiled. That's generous legal interpretation. I have excellent lawyers. The car pulled up at Little Stars at 10:56, 4 minutes to spare. Thank you, Destiny said. Seriously, thank you so much. Go get your son. We'll wait. She flew inside and found Marcus, her beautiful boy with his gap-toothed smile and backward backpack. Mommy. He launched at her legs. Hey, baby. I'm so sorry I'm late. It's okay. Miss Patricia let me feed Bubbles the fish. They headed back outside where Jin Woo Park, Billionaire, she was guessing, stood on the sidewalk waiting. Marcus's eyes went wide. Mommy? Who's that? That's Mr. Park. He gave us a ride. Cool car. Marcus stared. Is it a spaceship? Jin crouched to Marcus's level. A move Destiny hadn't expected. Not a spaceship, just a car. But it is pretty fast. He extended his hand. I'm Jin. What's your name? Marcus. Her son shook his hand enthusiastically. I'm 5 3/4. Do you know any superheroes? A few. Do you? I'm gonna be one when I grow up. That sounds like an excellent plan. Destiny watched this with her heart doing something complicated. Men didn't. Usually. Devin had never. We should go, she said abruptly. Thank you for everything. Jin stood. Where do you live? We'll drive you home. That's really not necessary. It's 11 p.m. You have a child and you're exhausted. Where do you live, Destiny? She hesitated. Every instinct screamed danger. Greenwood, she heard herself say. Greenwood Avenue. The drive took 15 minutes. Marcus chattered the entire time about Bubbles and school and how his mommy was a superhero without a cape. She's a superhero too, Marcus declared. Just without a cape. I can see that, Jin said, his eyes meeting Destiny's. When they pulled up to her apartment building, Destiny felt shame creep in. This was where she lived. Next to Jin's obvious wealth, it looked even more run down. Thank you, she said firmly, gathering Marcus. Really? Destiny. Jin pulled out a business card. I know this might sound strange, but I have a proposition for you. Every alarm bell rang. I'm not... Nothing inappropriate, he said quickly. I run Park Industries. I need someone with medical training for a private position. Flexible hours, significantly better pay than 2 jobs combined, and it would allow you to actually sleep. She stared at the card. You don't even know me. I know you work 19-hour days for your son. I know you're resourceful enough to accidentally carjack a stranger. I know your son thinks you're a superhero. His expression was serious. And I know that in the 8 minutes you slept on my shoulder, you looked more peaceful than you probably have in years. You need help. I'm offering it. I don't accept charity. It's not charity. It's employment. He held out the card. Think about it. Destiny took it slowly. Jinwoo Park, CEO at Park Industries. I'll think about it, she said. That night, she stood at her window watching his car idle at the curb. He waited 5 minutes until her lights came on. Only then did he leave. She turned the card over and over, wondering if she'd just met salvation or destruction. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too perfect, right? But hold on. Because Jinwoo Park wasn't having a good day when Destiny crashed his car. He was having the worst day. And what happened 3 days later when Destiny called that number? That's when things got really complicated. For 3 days, Destiny stared at that card. She Googled him at 2 a.m., Park Industries CEO, net worth $2.3 billion, known for ruthless efficiency in business dealings. The photos showed him at galas, cutting ribbons, always composed, never smiling. He looked different than the man who'd crouched to shake Marcus's hand. You gonna call him or just stare? Keisha, her hospital co-worker, asked. Girl, a billionaire handed you his number. Fairy tales don't happen to people like me. Maybe they do. You won't know unless you call. That night, after putting Marcus to bed, Destiny dialed before she could stop herself. He answered on the second ring. Destiny. I was beginning to think you weren't going to reach out. About your offer. I wanted to learn more. Can you come to my office tomorrow? 4 p.m.? I can take the bus. Let me send the car. Please. Pride warred with practicality. Practicality won. Okay. The next day, his driver picked her up in the same black sedan. They drove to a gleaming glass tower. Park Industries, floors 40 to 45. Grace Chen, his assistant, led her to Jin's office. Enormous, yet somehow intimate, with floor-to-ceiling windows and that million-dollar view. Destiny. Jin came around his desk, dressed casually in rolled shirt sleeves. Thank you for coming. Please, sit. She perched on a chair by the windows. You wanted to discuss the position? Straight to business. I respect that. He sat across from her. I work 90 hours a week, travel frequently. I have a condition, nothing life-threatening, but it requires monitoring. I need someone with medical training who can handle issues discreetly. What kind of condition? That's personal information I'll share if you accept. What I can tell you, it's manageable with proper care. And I'm willing to pay very well. What's the catch? Excuse me? You could hire anyone. Someone with better credentials. So what's the catch? Jin was quiet for a moment. Then, Tuesday night, when you got in my car, I was having a panic attack. The admission shocked her. My father died 3 months ago. I inherited Park Industries, including aspects I didn't know existed. Debts, obligations, people trying to manipulate me. He paused. I was parked outside that diner trying to decide if I should give in to blackmail. And I couldn't breathe until you got in my car and fell asleep. And suddenly I had to focus on getting you to your son instead of my own spiral. His vulnerability cracked something in her chest. You asked about the catch. Here it is. I need someone real. Someone who will tell me when I'm being an idiot. Someone who sees me as a person. He looked at her directly. You called me out in 30 seconds. That's refreshing. What would the job entail? 20 hours a week, Flexible around Marcus's schedule. Medical monitoring, but mostly presence. Making sure I eat, sleep. Don't work myself into another panic attack. He paused. And telling me when I'm being an idiot. Non-negotiable. Salary? $75,000 a year, plus full health insurance for you and Marcus. I'll cover daycare directly. Company car for transportation. Destiny's breath caught. That was more than both jobs combined. It was impossible. I need time to think. Take all the time. 24 hours. I'll give you my answer tomorrow. She called Keisha. If a billionaire offers you a job that's too good to be true, but he looks at you like you're a person, do you take it? Does he look at you like you're a transaction or a person? Destiny thought about Jin with Marcus, about his panic attack, admission, about the exhaustion in his eyes, like a person. Then take the job and watch your heart. She said yes the next day. So Destiny said yes, but here's what she didn't know. Jinwoo Park's biggest problem wasn't his health, it was his family. And when she met them for the first time at a formal dinner, everything exploded. Stay with me. Because what Marcus said at that dinner changed everything. The first weeks were surprisingly normal. Destiny would drop Marcus at school, head to Jin's penthouse, and manage his schedule. Check his blood pressure, stress-induced hypertension, as promised. Make sure he actually ate. Tell him when he was being stupid about sleep. You're not a robot, she'd say, finding him working at midnight. Bed. Now. He'd look surprised, then amused, then go to bed. They fell into easy conversation over lunches, argued about everything from politics to pizza toppings. He was wrong about pineapple. It felt professional, mostly, except when it didn't. Like when he'd watch her with an expression she couldn't read, or when she'd catch herself counting the hours until he came home. 3 weeks in, Jin asked, "Would you bring Marcus by sometime? I'd like to see him." She agreed. That Saturday, Jin opened his door in jeans and a t-shirt, the most casual she'd seen him, and his face lit up, seeing Marcus. "Marcus, come in. I've been waiting." "Mr. Jin!" Marcus charged forward. "Mommy says you have something cool." Jin led them to a room with a blanket fort, an elaborate structure with sheets, lights, and books stacked inside. Marcus's eyes went wide. "Whoa. I thought we could watch movies and read books," Jin said, crouching down. "I heard you like Where the Wild Things Are." "That's my favorite. Do you have it?" "I bought 3 copies, English, Korean, and Spanish." Destiny felt walls crumbling. They spent the afternoon in that fort, all 3 of them, watching Disney movies and eating popcorn. When Marcus fell, asleep curled against Jin, Jin carefully adjusted him without waking him. "He trusts you," Destiny said softly. "He doesn't trust many people." "Neither do I." Jin looked at her. "But I trust you." Something shifted between them. Acknowledged. 2 days later, Jin dropped the bomb. "My family wants to meet you." "Why?" "They heard I hired someone new. They're traditional. My grandmother especially." He looked uncomfortable. "She speaks 5 words of English and has been trying to marry me off since I turned 30. And you want me to walk into that?" "I want them to meet you because you're important to me." His voice was quiet. "I'm tired of hiding parts of my life." She said yes. The Park family estate was a mansion that made Jin's penthouse look modest. The door opened, revealing an older Korean woman in traditional hanbok, her expression appraising. She said something sharp in Korean. She's asking who you are. Jin appeared. Helmony? This is Destiny Matthews. And her son, Marcus. Helmony looked Destiny up and down, with an expression that could freeze them water. She spoke again, sharper. Jin's jaw tightened. He responded in Korean, respectful, but firm. What did she say? Destiny whispered. She asked if you're the black woman I'm thinking of marrying. I said you're my employee and friend. His voice was tight. She said that's what I said about the last 3 women who weren't Korean. Destiny's stomach sank. Maybe this was a mistake. No. I want you here. They need to know I'm not letting them control my life anymore. The dinner was excruciating. Jin's mother, Sun-yi, asked polite questions that felt like traps. Where's Marcus's father? What are your qualifications? Do you attend church? Helmony interjected, with rapid Korean Jin translated with increasing tension. Through it all, Marcus sat quietly, gripping Destiny's hand, until Helmony said something particularly sharp, and Marcus spoke up. Why is the grandma mean to my mommy? The table froze. She keeps saying stuff that makes Mr. Jin sad, and Mommy's face does that thing where she's trying not to cry. That's mean. Marcus, Destiny started. It's okay. It's not okay. His voice was fierce. Mr. Jin is nice to us. He built me a fort and makes sure Mommy eats. And Mommy helps him when he's sick. They're friends. Why doesn't the grandma like friends? Silence. Then Helmony spoke, softer. Jin responded, something like affection in his tone. Helmony walked to Marcus and crouched. She said something gentle in Korean. She says, Jin translated, that you're very brave to defend your mother, and brave boys deserve candy. She offered Marcus honey candy. He took it, and, in a move that surprised everyone, hugged her. Thank you. You're nice like Mr. Jin. Something flickered in Helmony's expression. Recognition. She said something else in Korean. What did she say? Destiny asked. Jin's voice was strange. She said Marcus has a good heart, and good hearts are rare. After dinner, Jin found Destiny on the terrace. I'm sorry, my family. Your family loves you. They're just scared. She smiled sadly. But Marcus defended me fiercer than when someone tried to take his favorite crayon. He's remarkable. Like his mother. Jin stepped closer. Destiny, I don't care what they think. I care what you think. I care that you make me want to be better. Jin, if your family always sees me as not good enough, then they're wrong. His voice was fierce. I know this is fast and complicated, but Destiny... Yes. He stopped. Yes. Yes. I'll take the chance. Yes. I want this. Yes. I'm terrified, but my son hugged your grandmother and called you his friend. So, yes. Jin pulled her close, his forehead against hers. She doesn't hate you. She absolutely hates me. She'll come around. Marcus won her over in 30 seconds. He learned from the best. Jin kissed her then, soft and careful. In the garden below, Marcus's laughter rang out. And Destiny let herself hope. Everything was perfect. For exactly 6 weeks. And then Jin's business rival made his move, and Marcus was caught in the crossfire. What happens next? This is where it gets dark. This is where Destiny has to make the hardest choice of her life. Don't you dare click away now. 6 weeks of believing in fairy tales, 6 weeks of Jin picking Marcus up from school, of Sunday dinners, where Helmony slowly warmed up, of falling asleep on Jin's couch, his arm around her. Then it started. A black car following her route to school. Same car. 3 days in a row. A man watching her too intently in a coffee shop. Her apartment door standing ajar when she came home. She mentioned it to Jin over dinner. I think someone's been watching me. Jin's fork stopped. His body went completely still. What kind of watching? A car. Someone in a coffee shop. My door was open. She forced a laugh. I'm probably paranoid. Grace. Jin was already on his phone. I need security on Destiny and Marcus. Immediate deployment. I don't care about the optics. Do it anyway. He hung up, his expression scared. Jin, what's going on? Can we talk in the other room? He glanced at Marcus, still coloring happily. In his office, Jin paced like a caged animal. My father left me complications, debts, obligations to a man named David Chen who runs business deals in legal gray areas. My father owed him favors. Chen thinks I should honor them. What kind of favors? Zoning approvals that shouldn't happen. Building permits despite safety violations. Jin's voice was tight with anger. I refused. Told him I'm running Park Industries legitimately. He didn't take it well. How not well? He threatened me. Said I'd regret choosing ethics over family loyalty. I thought he meant the business. Jin stopped. I didn't think he'd go after you. The room tilted. After me? After the people I care about? Anyone paying attention knows you're important to me. He pulled out his phone, showing her a text. Beautiful family you're building, Jinwoo. Would be a shame if something happened to disrupt it. Attached, a photo of Marcus leaving school that afternoon. Someone had photographed her son. Destiny's vision blurred. Her hands shook so violently, Jin had to steady her. He photographed Marcus. I know. I'm so sorry. Jin crouched, gripping her hands. I've called security. No one will get near you or Marcus, I promise. You promised I wouldn't lose anything. You promised we'd be safe. And now there are men photographing my son because I fell in love with you. She hadn't meant to say it, but it was too late. Jin's expression shattered. Destiny! Mommy! Marcus appeared, trembling. Why are you yelling? Destiny scooped him up. I'm sorry, baby. Mommy's upset about grown-up stuff. Are you mad at Mr. Jin? No. I'm scared. Mr. Jin keeps us safe. He promised. Right, Mr. Jin? Jin's voice was rough. Right. I don't break promises. That night, after, Marcus was asleep in Jin's guest room because there was no way Destiny was going back to her apartment. They faced reality. You need to give Chen what he wants, Destiny said flatly. I can't. What he wants will hurt people. Cut safety corners. People could die. And if Marcus gets hurt? If someone takes him? Her voice broke. I won't risk my son for your business ethics. So what are you saying? That you want to walk away? The question hung between them. Destiny wanted to run, grab Marcus, and disappear. But she looked at Jin, this man who'd built a fort for her son, who'd stood up to his family for her, and couldn't. I don't know what I'm saying. I just know someone threatened my baby. Jin knelt in front of her. I will fix this. I will end Chen's threats and keep you safe. But Destiny, I need you to trust me. Well, can you do that? Okay, she whispered. But Jin, if anything happens to Marcus, then you'll never forgive me. I know. He pressed his forehead to her knees. I swear I'm gonna fix this. The next 72 hours were paranoia. Security shadowed them everywhere. Armed guards at school pickup. 2 men flanking Destiny at the grocery store. Marcus thought it was exciting at first. By day 3, he wanted privacy. Jin barely slept. Destiny found him at 3 a.m. surrounded by laptops, trying to find a legal way to end this. "There has to be a way," he muttered. "Jin." She took his face in her hands. "You've been awake 36 hours. Sleep. I need to keep you safe. The security team is keeping us safe. You're killing yourself." She ran her thumb under his eyes. "Please, just for a few hours." He went reluctantly, falling asleep with his head on her chest. On day 4, everything exploded. Destiny was picking Marcus up when her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. "Ms. Matthews." The voice was smooth, cultured. "My name is David Chen. I believe Jin Woo has mentioned me." Her blood turned to ice. She gestured to security. "What do you want?" "Simply to have a conversation. You see, I'm a businessman. I don't wish to cause harm, but I do need Jin Woo to understand that obligations must be honored. By threatening my son." "I haven't threatened anyone. I simply made Jin Woo aware his choices have consequences." A pause. "Surely you understand his stubbornness is putting you in an uncomfortable position." "What I understand," Destiny said coldly, "is that you're a coward who targets children. And if you come near my son, I will destroy you in every legal way possible." Chen laughed. "Spirited. But Ms. Matthews, legal ways take time, and accidents happen so quickly. A child running into the street, a gas leak. These things are tragic but not uncommon." The threat was crystal clear. "You listen to me," Destiny said, shaking with rage now. "I grew up in foster care. I've dealt with predators and bullies. You are not special. You are not scary. You're just another man who mistakes money for power. And if you think I'm letting you near my child, you've miscalculated." Brave words from someone vulnerable. "My position is protected by 12 lawyers, a security team, and a recording of this conversation." It was a bluff. "So make your move. See what happens when you threaten a mother protecting her child." She hung up, hands shaking. Within minutes, Jin called. "Are you okay? Did he threaten you directly?" "At Marcus's school. Security's here." She took a shaky breath. "Jin, I don't care what it costs. End this. Now." "I'm working on it." "Not fast enough. That man threatened my son's life, so work faster, or I'm taking Marcus and disappearing." It wasn't a bluff. 24 hours, Jin said quietly. "I'm meeting with federal prosecutors. We're building a case. Fraud, racketeering, extortion. Give me 24 hours. You have until tomorrow night. After that, we're gone." That evening, Jin came home to find Destiny and Marcus already packed, suitcases by the door. His face went pale. "Destiny, please." "I care that my son is safe. Being near you is the opposite of safe." "Mommy?" Marcus appeared, eyes red. "Are we really leaving, Mr. Jin?" Jin's expression shattered. "Baby, Mr. Jin has problems he needs to fix. But he needs us." Marcus's lip trembled. "He said we're family. You don't leave family even when they have problems." The words hit like a slap. Marcus was right. She was running because she was scared. "Marcus!" "No!" He stamped his foot. "You're being mean. Mr. Jin is good and he loves us, and you're leaving because you're scared." Jin made a sound, half laugh, half sob. He crouched to Marcus's level. "Marcus, your mom is right to be scared. That's what good moms do." His voice was gentle. "But I promise, I swear on everything, I'm going to fix this. And then I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure you're both safe and happy. You promise?" "I promise." Marcus threw his arms around Jin's neck. Over Marcus's shoulder, Jin met Destiny's eyes. 24 hours, please. Destiny looked at her son clinging to this man, at the suitcases. 24 hours, but we're staying in a hotel. Under assumed names. Guards outside? Done. Anything. Just please don't disappear. Not yet. That night, in a hotel room with Marcus asleep between them, Jin told her everything. About his father's corruption, about the web of illegal deals, about trying to clean it up quietly. I thought I could do it without making waves, he said. But Chen doesn't want quiet. He wants submission, and I can't give him that. What changed? Before, it was just me. I could handle it. Jin looked at Marcus. But now it's you. It's him. And I can't risk you for my principles. So, what are you going to do? Jin was quiet. Then, I'm giving the prosecutors everything. Every document, every email, every piece of evidence about my father's dealings with Chen. It'll destroy Park Industries' reputation. Stock will crash. We'll lose contracts. But Chen will go to prison. And you'll be safe. Jin, that's your entire life's work. You're my life's work now. He said it simply. You and Marcus. Everything else is just money and buildings that don't matter if I lose you. Tears slipped down her cheeks. You'd really sacrifice everything? In a heartbeat. He took her hand. This is me proving loving me wasn't a mistake. Jin gave the prosecutors everything. The next morning, David Chen was arrested on 17 counts of fraud and extortion. But the fallout was immediate and brutal. His board removed him as CEO. His mother called him a disgrace. The empire he'd built crumbled around him. Was it worth it? Stay with me. Because this is where we find out if love is really enough. The news broke at 6 a.m. Thursday. Park Industries' CEO provides evidence in massive corruption. Case. By 7 a.m., Park Industries stock dropped 23%. By noon, the board voted Jin out as CEO. Unanimous. By evening, Jin's world was ash. Destiny watched it happen from Jin's penthouse, scrolling through articles calling him hero or traitor. Grace called. The board voted. They're removing him as CEO effective immediately. Andrew Chen has taken over. Jin's being offered severance and asked to resign completely. Destiny's stomach dropped. Can they do that? They're doing it. Jin came home looking beaten. They voted me out, he said without preamble. Unanimous. Even people I thought were friends. His laugh was bitter. My mother said I dishonored my father and destroyed the family name. Halmoni won't speak to me. According to Sunyi, she said I chose a black woman and her bastard child over family loyalty. The slur made Destiny flinch. 50 million severance sounds like a lot until you realize I'm losing a $2 billion company. He collapsed on the couch. I gave them everything. Did the right thing. And lost it all. Destiny sat next to him, pulling his head to her shoulder. You didn't lose everything. You still have us. Do I? His voice was muffled. I wouldn't blame you for walking away. I promised stability and delivered a media circus and death threats. Jin, look at me. He lifted his head. You kept your promise. Chen's in jail. Marcus is safe. We're safe. Everything else? That's just money that can be rebuilt. She cupped his face. You chose integrity over profit. You chose us over an empire. That's not losing. That's winning every battle that matters. I'm not a billionaire anymore. I'm just a guy with severance and a ruined reputation. Good. I never wanted to date a billionaire anyway. She pressed her forehead to his. I wanted you. Jin-Woo Park. The man who builds blanket forts and has panic attacks in expensive cars. That's who I fell in love with. Not the CEO. Just you. His arms came around her, holding on. I love you, he whispered. God, I love you so much. I love you too. And we're going to be okay. How can you be sure? Because we survived worse separately. Together. We're unstoppable. That evening when Marcus came home and they told him, Mr. Jin had to make a hard choice and chose to do the right thing even though it was difficult, Marcus had a question. So Mr. Jin doesn't have his fancy job? No, buddy. Does that mean he can come to my school play next week? He always said he was too busy. Jin, who'd been staring out the window looking shell-shocked, turned slowly. What? My school play. We're doing Little Red Riding Hood and I'm a tree. It's very important. But you always had meetings. Do you have meetings now? No, Marcus. Jin crouched down, and for the first time since the board meeting, light returned to his eyes. I don't have meetings. I can absolutely come to your school play. Really? Marcus's face lit up. You'll see me be a tree? I will be the most enthusiastic tree watcher in the audience. Marcus threw his arms around Jin's neck. This is the best day ever. Over Marcus's shoulder, Jin met Destiny's eyes. The devastation receded. Purpose returned. Maybe he'd lost an empire, but he'd gained something worth infinitely more 1 year later. Real life was messier than fairy tales. Real life was Jin consulting for an ethical development firm at a quarter of his previous salary and being genuinely excited. Real life was Marcus calling Jin Dad one random Tuesday while asking for homework help, then looking terrified until Jin pulled him into a hug and cried. Real life was Halmoni showing up unannounced 6 months later, sitting in their living room and saying in broken English, I was wrong. You chose right. She good for you. Boy, good boy. Real life was Jin's official adoption of Marcus going through. Marcus insisting on hyphenating. Marcus Matthews Park. Both families are important. Real life was Destiny finishing her nursing degree, paid for with Jin's severance that he insisted was an investment in our future. Real life was buying a AMBW house in Greenwood. Not a mansion, but real with a yard, and Jin learning to maintain it himself. Real life was hard and wonderful and nothing like the fairy tale. It was better. On their 1-year anniversary of Jin's testimony, they had a small dinner. Just Keisha, Grace, and Marcus. To new beginnings, Grace raised her glass. And to Jin finally learning work-life balance. I'm still working on that, Jin admitted, arm around Destiny. But I'm getting better. He came to my spring concert and didn't check his phone once, Marcus announced. That's progress. Everyone laughed. Later, after guests left and Marcus was asleep, Destiny and Jin sat on their back porch watching rain fall. Do you miss it? Destiny asked. The company. The power? Jin considered. Sometimes I miss the resources, but the meetings, the fake relationships, the politics. He shook his head. No, I don't miss that at all. What do you miss? My father, even though I'm angry at him. Jin's voice softened. I miss the dad who taught me to ride a bike. I miss who I thought he was. You can miss him and be angry. Both things can be true. Therapy says the same thing. He smiled. Dr. Morrison says I'm making progress, accepting I can't control everything. Though she did point out I replaced controlling a company with trying to control Marcus's homework schedule, so I'm still a work in progress. Destiny laughed. You color-coded our spice rack. Organization isn't control. You labeled each spice with optimal usage temperature and paired wines. That's just thorough. She kissed him, laughing. I love you, you ridiculous man. I love you too. He pulled her closer. Even though you deliberately moved the paprika. You needed to cope with chaos. Marcus tried to make scientific brownies yesterday. The kitchen still smells like baking soda. That's childhood. And you handled it perfectly. She rested her head on his shoulder. You're an amazing dad. The word still made him pause. You think so? I know so. Marcus adores you. You're patient and present. You're exactly the father he needed. Jin was quiet. Then, I have something to ask you. If this is about reorganizing the linen closet, will you marry me? Destiny's heart stopped. Jin pulled out a small box. I know I said I'd wait until I rebuilt something, but I realized I already have. We've built this. He gestured around. And I don't want to wait. I want Marcus to be legally mine. And I want you to be legally mine, and I want to build the rest of our lives together. So, Destiny Matthews. He opened the box, revealing a simple diamond. Will you marry me? She was crying before he finished. Yes, absolutely yes. He slid the ring on, and it fit perfectly. They kissed on the porch, in the rain, in the life they'd built from ashes. Perfect. Not in the fairy tale sense. Their house needed repairs. Jin's family mostly refused to acknowledge them, and Marcus only ate orange foods currently. But perfect in the real sense. Perfect because it was theirs. 3 months later, they married in their backyard on a sunny September afternoon. 20 guests, Marcus as ring bearer, taking his job so seriously he walked at 1 mile per hour. Jin's best man, Grace Chin, Destiny's maid of honor, Keisha, who cried and took Instagram photos simultaneously. Halmoni came, sat front row, cried through vows. Afterward, she gave Destiny a traditional Korean wedding gift and said carefully, You make him happy. Make him human. Good wife. The highest praise Halmoni had ever given. Jin's mother didn't come. Sent a card. Congratulations. Without signing it, Jin didn't cry about it much. During the reception, Marcus made a toast. I'm 6 now, he announced into the too tall microphone. And I get 2 last names, which is cool. And I get a dad, which is cooler. He looked at Jin with adoration. Dad says family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up. And he showed up. Every day. For me and Mommy. So I think we should all show up for each other. The end. Not a dry eye in the backyard. Jin scooped Marcus up while Destiny joined them. The 3 wrapped in a hug. That felt like home. Later, after guests left and Marcus was asleep, Jin and Destiny slow danced to music from his phone. Mrs. Park, Jin murmured, has a nice ring. I'm keeping Matthews Park. Marcus and I match. Even better. He kissed her temple. Thank you. For what? For getting in the wrong car. For giving me a chance. For loving me when I lost everything. He pulled back to look at her. For showing me what actually matters. This. You. Marcus. Us. You would have figured it out eventually. Maybe. But I'm glad I didn't have to figure it out alone. They swayed in the moonlight, in their backyard, in their imperfect, beautiful, hard-won life. And somewhere in the universe, fate smiled. Because sometimes The wrong car is exactly the right place. Sometimes exhaustion leads to awakening. Sometimes falling asleep on a stranger's shoulder is the first step toward the life you were meant to live. Sometimes losing everything is how you find what actually matters. And sometimes, just sometimes, single moms and Korean billionaires find each other in the chaos and build something real. Something messy, something imperfect, something absolutely worth every risk. If this story touched your heart, if you believed in destiny and Jin, if you cheered for Marcus, if you cried when Halmoni finally came around, please hit that subscribe button. We tell stories like this every week. Stories about real love, real struggles, and real happy endings that aren't perfect but are worth fighting for. Drop a comment. Would you have gotten in that wrong car? Would you have taken the risk on Jin? What would you have done differently? And if you're struggling right now, if you're exhausted like Destiny or lost like Jin, remember this. Sometimes the biggest mistakes lead to the best destinations. Sometimes wrong turns are exactly right. Keep showing up. Keep fighting. Keep believing your happy ending is out there. Because it is. I promise.